Hi everyone, we are in Cameron, Texas. Now this is a little larger town than I'm used to going to, and it has a very pretty large city center, and we're going to check it out. And as you can still see between those trees, a very beautiful courthouse, which we'll take a look at later. But we're going to start off at the City Hall, the Cameron City Hall, the historic restoration of 2002. So this building was newly restored and it looks great. Let's take a look at the corner and you'll see what I'm talking about. There you go, look at that. 1891. You got beautiful architecture. Howdy. Yeah, we've got a little bakery back there and a finance company. Look at the bank. This place is built like a tank. I'm always impressed by the bank's architecture. And I love it whenever banks stay in these buildings after over 100 years. So, good on them, great architecture. It's a big building, so this has a lot of life left in it. All right, take a look at this building over here. It's been painted black. It's got that tin-clad architectural style stuff on the, above the windows. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it. So, what's neat about these old buildings like this is those little columns that are cream color right in front. They're made out of cast iron, and I think they were shipped out of for Missouri or something like that. But they're in all sorts of buildings here in Texas. So it's a good way to get some fancy architecture without spending a whole lot of money. And that's why I'm guessing why it's so prevalent here in these really tiny towns. So let's look around some more. Here, let me see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, Fisker Rose, and it's from St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah, cast iron. All right. This is going to be a long video if I don't walk faster, but we're going to try to see everything, or at least as much as we can. This is one of those towns where you're just going to have to visit more than once, because there's a lot to see. All right, let's walk down here. Not much going on in these buildings right here. Got an indigent healthcare facility right here. You got a big old thrift store. But it's closed on Sunday, so we can't check it out. Can't find some deals. So, next to the thrift store is a food bank. And we got to the left of me right here is the Youth Expo Center. Livestock show parking on the other side. So this is where you're going to show your prize animals for the Future Farmers of America, the FFA. I was always impressed by the FFA because they got to wear those really cool jackets that have like their logo and everything. It just looks really, really neat. And then we got the attorneys taking up the corner of this area. Capolino, Dodd, and Krebs, LLP. Well, this is interesting. Take a look at that old derelict factory building right over there. Well, factory, it looks like that was processing grain. So that was all part of the, I'm sure that the train stopped there and dumped the grain off, and that was processed and put back on the train. Okay. All right, we're going to flash back to the middle of the area. Be right back. Okay, we are back in the town square, or the center of the town. We're going to take a right here at the stop sign and explore this side of the road, and then we're going to look at the courthouse, which I'm very anxious to see. It's peeking out over there, very beautiful architecture. I see a little horseshoe up there in the very top of the roof, so that's for good luck. All right. First things first is the First Finance and Furniture. Got a Milam Music Company right there on the right. Looks like it's defunct. And you got a defunct antique store. Come on. Let's have more antique stores, y'all. They're fun. We got this little coffee shop on the corner, I believe. It's the Studio, 7th and Company Essentials Girly Pop Boutique Hot Corner Food. All right, so all the ladies come out over here and eat their hot corner food. Sounds good to me. Here's our first bit of street art. Got a Coca-Cola advertising. I'm sure that was touched up a little bit, but I love seeing it. Yeah, they got a little Coca-Cola, Cameron, Texas. So this probably is a modern interpretation of the original advertising. And we got the Cheese Brothers Dry Goods Millinery. They only take cash, guys. Well, not anymore because they don't exist, but Cash is king. There's another peek of the courthouse. We're going to take a better look at that in a little bit. That's beautiful. And we have a event center for weddings called the Venue. And there's the little city cat. Hey cat, I pet you, but I'm allergic to cats. Okay. All right. There is the courthouse. It's surrounded by pecan trees. That is the state tree of Texas. So very fitting. There's also pecan trees around the state capitol as well. And this gentleman right here is, last name is Milam, and he was in the Texas Revolution. And Benjamin Milam participated in the capture of Goliad, October the 9th, 1835, was killed in San Antonio, December 7th, 1835, while commanding the Texas forces, which later captured the town. So he was a part of the Texas Revolution, creating the country of Texas, the Republic of Texas. All right. Yeah, this is just gorgeous. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get too many good pictures with the trees in the way, but this is a beautiful building. Look at that. Those windows have bars on it. All right, we'll walk to the corner. Here we go. Here's the historical marker. And we got the bell. We got a big old bell. Right over there in the corner is the old jail. We'll check that out in a second. That's a museum right now, but that was originally the jail. But we're going to look at that in a minute. Here's another vantage point of the courthouse. I'm sure they had a massive restoration done recently, because that is just too perfect in condition. Yeah, beautiful. And of course they have their memorial, just the memorial for all the fallen in all the wars that came from this county, probably, or this town. Oh, the sun is in my face. There you go. Now here's I'd say this is the front of the building. You know, this video is not going to do this courthouse justice, so definitely look it up and take a look at like the steeple. Or the the crown up there. It has a statue and a clock, and I just can't get a good shot of that. And they got a little park out on the back side. And a fountain. And we've got a little placard that talks about Milam County. All right. Out there in that corner is the museum. This is a Sunday, so it's not open. And this is the other side. It's not too many old buildings right over here, but this one's built in 1925. Which looks like a coffee shop. You got the dentist office, and this next to the dentist office is a really beautiful building with these Greek revival style columns. It says Henderson on the top. It doesn't have a date, but you know it's probably late 1800s or early 1900s. It's hard to tell. But that is a beautiful building. And it's up for lease, so you could stay in here or work out of here if you want. You got right here, you got the Cameron Beer Market. There you go, now we're talking. And they are open on Sunday. I'm telling. Actually, I could probably go for a beer right now. It's hot. It's like 95 degrees outside. So, after a long day at the courthouse, you can go to the brewery. Let's take a look. There you go. That's a better vantage point. You can see the little statue up there on the side. It's the statue where the lady is holding the scales of justice, I suppose. And then this little fortress right here, which is being hidden by this crepe myrtle tree, is the Milam County Museum jail. Let's see. That is a very imposing building. Looks like a castle. And it was probably built like 1-2. Alright, so here's the marker right here. You can pause the video if you want to read it, but basically this thing was built in the 1890s. Back in those days, you had the jailers living on the bottom floor, and the people in the jail, you know, the prisoners, they were upstairs. So this is a very, very nice building. Take a look here in the shade. Let's look at that brickwork on the top. gorgeous. Even the jails were pretty, you know. The old architecture back in those days is just stunning. We need to go back to that. Oh, look at that. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has 2 keys and handcuffs in that little, I don't know what you would call that, little medallion corner architecture piece. So, yeah, that's interesting. And right next to the jail is the Historical Museum Transportation Exhibit. Probably an old fire truck in there, I bet. And a very mysterious log cabin. So you can get a good look at it. Yeah. The jail from this side. You just can't really get a good look at it with these trees, but trust me on this, it's a very imposing structure, very well built. It'll probably last 1,000 years. All right, well, this is Cameron, Texas. This is kind of the long, quick tour. There's some parts I haven't filmed that are also interesting. So we may have to come back, do another walkthrough in the future, maybe when it's a little cooler outside, but I really wanted to check this town out, and this courthouse is just stunning. So thanks everybody for coming along with me on this little long short stroll. I really appreciate it. Oh look, there's a mural, little cow mural. You know, so thanks a lot, and I will see y'all next time, and remember, you're all dearly loved. Coffee sounds pretty good right now too. Coffee or beer? What should I do? Don't know. I'll see y'all.